Welcome to the Fourth Down Experience, the podcast devoted to special teams. Your host of the Fourth Down Experience, former pro free agent, 9-year professional kicking coach out of the Midwest, Coach Chris Hughesby. Alongside Coach Chris Hughesby is a former 2-time Arena Bowl champ, 9-year pro kicking coach, repping the South, Coach Brian Jackson.
What's up, guys? Brian Jackson here with Chris Hughesby, Fourth Down Experience podcast. We're stoked because we have Daniel Carlson coming back on the show. It's basically a 3-year anniversary, pre-draft last time we had Daniel. So, Daniel, welcome back to the show, man.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, guys. It's been a fun journey. Hopefully it's been a fun journey for you guys and all the listeners as well.
Welcome back again. We kind of were reminiscing about this leading up to calling you. We essentially had about a 3-year anniversary with Harrison Butker as well. And so it was really fun for us to kind of meet you officially, I guess by phone, and then just follow your journey over the last 3 years. Because, again, 3 years ago, you had just gone through the NFL Combine, and then we talked about what that journey was like so far. So we're excited to talk about how things are going for you.
Absolutely. Hey, so Daniel, just curious, just talking about the Combine here, when you went to it and then it just happened. Were you watching it by chance, or did you see any highlights or anything?
This past year, I was back in Auburn a little bit ago, and so the punter from Auburn went to the Combine this past year, and so I kind of got the inside scoop from him and just, talked about his experience. We had talked before, I helped him prep a little for it, but, got to hear a little bit about how the kickers did and how the punters did. I think he said there were maybe about 7 punters and 3 kickers. Unfortunately, it's really hard to kind of find, video or anything. I wish they televised it. I think a lot more people would love to watch, what the NFL Combine looks like as far as the kickers and punters go on the field, even the snappers. But, I just got a little bit of scoop for him and, how he did. Aaron Zippos, he's an Australian punter over here. But, it's exciting for those guys and, their opportunities to go somewhere in the league and, get in with a team, maybe drafted, maybe, find a camp or something. But there's always a lot of talented younger guys that are coming out of college that are going to be competing with, I'm not necessarily an older guy, but, I've been in the league now for a couple of years and, it's each year there's a new pool of guys coming in to compete.
It seems like, I guess just from my viewpoint, that a lot of these guys are doing more of the other athletic testings, like Ben Turk had 25 reps on bench press. Just wild. And a lot of these guys are running 4.8, 4.9, 40s. I couldn't remember. Did you try doing that, or did you do any of the other testing, or did you just kick?
Yeah, my year, a couple guys were kind of on the fence whether to test or not, whether to run or not. And so I think there were a couple guys that did, but I think for the majority, of us, either we had decided before, I decided before, but some other guys kind of decided during that we weren't going to test just because we kicked before, which was good, but really after, we were still kind of tired from kicking and you didn't really want to go run a 40 and, mess something up, even if slim chances, you never know. So, but if some guys, want to show that they're athletic and, if you can put up 25 on bench or whatever it is, you better do that, because if that could be a tiebreaker later down the road to show that, hey, this guy's a little better athlete than this guy might be, but, they're very similar punters or kickers or whatever. So I think some guys are interested in doing that because, as a coverage aspect or just overall just athletic standpoint of knowing, hey, this guy's going to be able to, stay healthy and, be a good athlete out there on the field. And, that's always a benefit.
So, Daniel, you have just completed your second year, right? Second year. You had the stint with the Vikings, and then you got brought in for the final 10 games of the season, and then you had your first full season. What has it been like so far over these 2 years for you? What have you learned? What have you maybe improved upon over time from what you've learned in your journey?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's everybody's journey is a little different. I mean, you were talking about Harrison's journey. He obviously went from the practice squad to winning a Super Bowl this past year. He's a close friend of mine, and it's awesome to see his journey. And mine's obviously a bit different. Where I was drafted and things looked like they were going well in Minnesota, and then shortly after I was cut, and I was on bouncing between couches for a couple weeks just training and trying to find my next home. And Raiders picked me up, with 10 games to go, and playoff hopes were kind of low at that point, but luckily I was able to come in and really, I think I made 15 straight and set the Raiders percentage record for a season, field goal percentage wise, and so it kind of was a cool blessing in disguise, just how God kind of worked that into my journey and my path. So I was really excited and really loved being a part of the Oakland Raiders that year, and kind of rebuilding that team with Coach Gruden and the direction we were trying to head. And this past year, personally, it wasn't necessarily as good of a year as I would have wanted, but I think the team continued to grow, and you could see that they were taking steps in the right direction. And then next year we're going to be transitioning to Las Vegas, so I think things are timing up well where it's going to be exciting next year, and hopefully we can make a good playoff push, and who knows, Super Bowl in the future, hopefully soon.
You mentioned John Gruden, there's everyone has their head coach, whether they say different things to the kickers, maybe they don't say anything at all. Are there any funny moments or interesting things that he has said to you the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think Coach Gruden's been unbelievable. And like you said, every head coach is different. I know a lot of kickers experience some tough moments sometimes with head coaches, and some better. But Coach Gruden is definitely a player's coach, and whether it's been when I've been doing well, he's been very good to compliment me and talk about me in front of the team too. I think that's is important when they acknowledge your work, because sometimes even in the NFL, the teams, you're kind of isolated, so the team doesn't always see that. But it means a lot coming from a head coach in the NFL, and so I think that's always been really cool. And I think even when I've struggled this past year here and there, he's always stuck by me and put his confidence in me that that means a lot to a younger kicker as he's going through the league, because there is there's not always the most job security sometimes in the NFL. If you're competing for playoff spots, and the margin of error is pretty small, so to see him let me develop as a young kicker and kind of trust in me, trust that I can be the future of the Las Vegas Raiders. It's really exciting.
Yeah, so talk about the Oakland fan base. Everybody talks about how crazy they are, how loyal they are. What's it actually like as a fan in the stadium playing on the field?
Yeah, they are definitely rougher cut fan base, but they are very loyal, very loud, very passionate about the Oakland Raiders, and hopefully they'll be just as passionate for the Las Vegas Raiders. And so it's been very cool, coming from college, and the Auburn fan base Auburn University where I played was a little more conservative and just relaxing family environment, whereas Oakland they like to party and they like to be loud and rowdy at the games and stuff. So it's fun place, the Black Hole there in Oakland. We got to play on the dirt this year and a couple games out there on the baseball field, and so it's a cool, rough environment. And I definitely wouldn't want to be an opposing team coming in here to have to play us in that environment.
Just crazy. Looking at both you and AJ Cole, the punter. You guys are both 6'4", 6'5". Each are 215, 220. Do any of the guys give any of the DBs or receivers or anyone that's around 6 foot crap, hey man, our kickers, our punt, the lingo, our kickers. Yeah. Just kind of some funny locker room talk or anything.
I definitely do think, we probably have one of the bigger specialist groups in the league, and I think I've heard that I may be the tallest kicker in the NFL. at least for sure right now, but ever possibly. And so it is unique, and yeah, we definitely joke around here and there. And we've had some comments about running fakes and just throwing it up to the big guys, me and AJ. But it's always fun. But for us, it's just about doing our job, and it doesn't really matter to me what size you are. You got benefits being shorter, and you got benefits being bigger and taller, and so there's things that you can use to your advantage and things that you're going to have to overcome, whether you're shorter or taller.
What's been your experience with AJ? Just you got younger guys coming in, both y'all are you guys know the drill. Like what's been it like with developing that relationship, especially the holder side?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that's been huge, and he won the job in training camp, and so before that, I was working with two different holders, and that's a lot of times that's the way it goes. But he won the job, and he earned it, and it was fun to watch him. His rookie season kind of start out learning a lot of things and really flourishing towards the end. But as a relationship goes, I think that's always important because, like I said, you are kind of isolated sometimes, and those are high pressure situations and high stress. So, over the course of the season, it's a long season, and the NFL is 16 games plus 4 preseason games. So that's a long time to be hanging around someone. So it's important to develop those relationships that me and AJ and our snapper Sid were able to develop, and obviously he just continued to flourish as a holder as well, AJ, and so that was really awesome for me. And so it's nice to have three younger guys where hopefully we continue that group going forward, and hopefully we'll have a lot of success for the Raiders.
Yeah.
So it's been fun as we've been asking like David Akers and Lawrence Tynes, Martin Gramatica, how they like the ball held when they're kicking, and so we'd like to keep continuing that, especially with quote unquote younger guys in the league. You're still a young guy in the league. So how do you like it held? What do you tell AJ, when you're going to kick?
Yeah, I think for me, one of the bigger things is since I am a little taller, it's important that he has a little lean forward on the ball. Because if it's, leaned back at all, it kind of closes off the sweet spot of the ball, and it's harder to see. And when my foot, so I have a size 14 foot, and I kind of crunch it down into a 13, 12 and a half kicking ways. But, if that ball's leaned back at all, I'm kind of having to scoop under it to find the sweet spot. And with that big foot, it makes it really hard to do. So he's done a great job, getting it right where I need it, that forward lean, and then obviously a little lean towards himself as well, kind of straightens out that ball as a right-footed kicker. So that's something that he held in college, and he was a good holder in college. But I don't think obviously in college he knew to what extent how important it was. And so once he got to the NFL, he put in a lot of work, and I think we tried to calculate it one day and figure out how many holds he probably got a day and a week, and I think it was something like 150 to 100 holds every day of practice, and it's crazy how much work you put into that, just from hopefully 30 something kicks or in a season, plus extra points obviously, but I really appreciate it as a kicker because it's important to us and it's important to the team, and he doesn't get much of the glory if you make the kicks, but he's just as big of a part as well as snapper, obviously.
Yeah. So Daniel, now that you've completed your second season in the NFL and first kind of full season, you've probably now developed a comfortability with everything and probably feel a little bit more secure. Although we all know there's always competition. What are you doing in this off season to just take care of your body, and prepare for next year?
Yeah, I think this is, now my second off season where I have a real off season, at least NFL wise. So I've kind of, learned from last year. I got a chance to really work with Jake Elliott a lot last year. He was dating a girl back at Auburn University, and so he was hanging around Auburn a good bit, and so we would get to, train together a lot. So it's always good to have a little competition and a little, someone to work with and that can, take a look at things that you may be working on and they may be working on, or just to film you. That's always nice. But that was fun my first season. And, this season I've been working a lot with my little brother, who's the kicker at Auburn as well, while I've been in Auburn. And, it's great for us to, compete as brothers, but, also to just kind of grow as kickers together and, hopefully feed off each other and, help each other out if we see little things that we can, continue to improve. And then, besides that, it's just, making sure, I took enough time right after the season to rest my body. And then once I got back in things, continue to, hit the right weight room in the right way. And also, I think throwing in yoga and Pilates has been a big part of my off-season routine, especially. It's harder to do that necessarily in season. Don't have quite as much time, but off season is a great time to continue to work on that flexibility.
Nice.
Daniel, you always have had a strong lever, especially in kickoffs, and your brother as well. And it's easy for someone just to say, God-given ability, which is what you guys have, but obviously you've worked on your craft for a long time and been around some good kicking coaches, and you guys know how to coach as well. What would be one or two drills to help a high school guy that's wanting to say, like, how can I get some deeper kickoffs? What would be some things that I need to do?
Yeah, I think, a lot of guys think it's a muscle movement, it's all about how much force you can put into it. But I think there's a lot of technique that goes into it. The best way I've kind of heard it explained for a kickoff is it's controlled chaos. And so, yes, you do want to be aggressive and you want to swing hard, but the technique is just as important. And so, making sure you have clean steps where you're building speed as you go to the ball, and able to, stick a plant where you're in control. Because I've seen, obviously, a lot of guys run too fast to the ball where they're maybe hitting one kickoff really well, but the next one they need a little past the ball, or they just may not time it as well. So I think, really nailing down your steps is the biggest thing. And then after that, I think the swing and that hurdle after kickoff, I think if you can, really allow your momentum, your hips to fire through the ball, I think that's what separates, some guys that are really good kickoff guys, but, to the best guys in the world, really, in the NFL and stuff. Some of those guys that can just boom it out the back or with great hang time or put it exactly where they need to. To be able to do that repetitively and do that time and time again, that's what really separates guys. So I think especially for younger guys, yes, the strength and those muscles will come. And, you got to work in the weight room and you got to build those muscles with reps and being in the weight room and continuing to get stronger. But, continuing to get your steps down and really, focusing on that swing and that hurdle, kind of that momentum, that transition of momentum to the ball and then through the ball is really key.
Was there a point in your kickoff development, where it really started clicking? What year did you start kicking, and then was there a point where you're like, okay, now the ball's really flying? Like, how long did that really take you in your development?
Well, for me, I actually didn't start kicking until I was the first one in high school. Really, about a week or two before the first high school game. But obviously, I played soccer, and that's kind of how I fell into it. I also went to high school in Colorado, so that helped with the altitude. So I always felt like, I had a pretty good leg just because with the altitude and, just the natural kind of swing from soccer. While I was learning, I was good about getting contact and stuff. But it probably took me a couple years until I really got steps down that I felt comfortable with, that I felt repetitive with. And that's when I could be a little more aggressive there, where I could really feel like, hey, I know exactly where I'm going to plant, and I know exactly, once I plant it, I can pull my leg through and really bring all that momentum and that controlled chaos through the ball. And so that was probably junior year of high school, right as I was basically going into college camps to try and get recruited. And so, that's really when I had really, taken that next step as a kicker and become very serious about it and knew, that was something I wanted to do with my future. And so it timed up well where I was able to, show some college coaches and stuff that I could do that. And, since then it's, I've continued every year to continue to work it. And I don't work it necessarily as much right now in the off season. And it's once you're older, you have to be smart about recovery, and you know what your kickoff steps are. But once I start kicking off again, consistently, I do need to continue to work on it. It's always something that you're always fine tuning and continuing to get better.
This is great, Daniel. You're providing a lot of really great information for the young guys and all of us to learn. And my last question before Chris can finish it off is, we oftentimes, all of us, focus more on the physical aspect, and obviously we know that the mental aspect is super important at the kicking, playing, and snapping level. Do you have verbal cues that you say to yourself, or do you have any kind of routines that you have before you get onto the field, and then when you're on the field before a rep?
Yeah, I would say as far as routine goes, I do try and just kind of simulate. I try and get one kind of practice swing out as I jog onto the field. And that's something that just kind of loosens up my hips as I run out, gets me kind of concentrated. And then as far as verbal cues go, once I take my steps and everything, I always repeat to myself, see it and through it. And those are kind of two little phrases that just make me lock in and concentrate on the contact. With, like I said, since I have such big feet, that contact, if I wrap my foot at all, or if I touch the ground, that's pretty tough for me to overcome. So that's one of the two things that I want to focus on, and the other one is through it, and that's just transitioning that momentum through the ball and really following through straight downfield, almost to my snapper. And so if you watch me on film, I'll really finish down the field a good bit usually, just to really almost overemphasize that straight swing that I'm trying to create. And so I think that's huge. That's something I've learned. I learned kind of halfway through college was how big it is to kind of make your mind think about something specific. Because if you let your mind wander, I'm not really thinking about anything. I'm just trying to block out the pressure or the noise. Your mind's gonna wander to something, and it's gonna want maybe go one way in one situation or another way in a different. So it's hard to be consistent that way. But if you're concentrating and focusing on, one or two simple things that you can do every time in practice, and then you can do every time in games, that'll give you a lot better chance to be consistent in different situations, whether it's a practice kick or a game-winning kick at a big game, and whether the wing's there or not. So it's I think that's really important, and something guys should definitely figure out. So what are some things that I need to be successful? One or two things that I need in every swing that'll help me, really just give me the best chance of making any kick in any situation.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that type of stuff is important, and for any kicker, just you learn that with time and experience as well. Like what works, what doesn't,
absolutely.
And that routine, and kind of in a way it becomes superstitious slightly. Not that you want to rely on superstition, but just to have that routine that gets you your mind and body back on track.
Yeah, I think routine is, I wouldn't, superstition is not necessarily a good thing because that almost makes you reliant on it.
Yep.
But routine is great because that's how you're going to become the most consistent. If you're a consistent person with your habits and with your training, and hopefully then you'll be pretty consistent with your gameplay as well.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Well, we always like to wrap up everything with a few fun type of questions just to get your thoughts on it all. First, I guess, have you met Marshawn Lynch in the Oakland area? And if so, what is he like? I think you guys have almost crossed paths.
I've met Marshawn a couple times. Actually, when I first came into the Raiders facility, he was on IR, and so he would come by every once in a while for rehab and, just to check him with the doctors and stuff. But he, I came in and I think I was the third or fourth kicker at that point that the Raiders had picked up right when I came in. So, he was just joking with me that he just said, "Oh, you're the new kicker. I can't learn your name because you never know. These kickers keep going in and out." So, but he meant it in a great way, and, he was joking. But later on that year, he remembered me and said, "Oh, keep it up." So, really genuinely nice guy. I think a lot of great guys have a lot of great things to say about him. And he's definitely a funny guy. And I would have loved to see him play, with us a little more. But obviously he was hurt that first season I was there, and then he was elsewhere the next year. But I've heard a lot of great things about him.
Yeah. All right. So what's the excitement like as you guys transition to Vegas, whether it's within the team or externally with the fans and the community and things like that? What's it like as you guys prepare for Vegas?
I think it's super exciting. The stadium looks like, the Death Star. It's beautiful, and it's going to be awesome just playing in that environment. And then the practice facilities and everything's going to be brand new. So I think as a team, obviously we're really excited about that. The city's, I think, very excited, and it's a unique place where hopefully a lot of fans are going to want to fly in and visit, and hopefully we'll have a new good local fan base as well. And in addition, hopefully the Oakland fans transition, and whether they drive or fly, however they get there, I'm sure there's already a lot of excitement around the transition. So I know the players and the coaches and everybody's really excited about the future of the Raiders.
Yeah, almost like the Packers as well. I mean, Oakland travels real well.
Yeah,
I once went to a Redskins game out in the D.C. area, and they played the Raiders, and I could have sworn like half the stadium were Raider fans, it seemed like.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We've had a couple games like that where, we were the away team, and we felt like we were the home team, whether, it was just because they were so loud or there were so many of them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Daniel, we're coming to our capstone question here. You answered this from a collegiate standpoint, and now that you're 2 years in, tell us your 5 favorite stadiums to play in so far.
5 favorite, okay. Well, I've got to say Oakland. Now that nobody's going to play in that anymore, that's pretty special. Kicking on the baseball dirt was miserable, but it's pretty cool to say that I was able to do that, because I don't think that's ever going to happen, definitely not in the NFL anymore. So I would say that's one. Arizona has a very good kicking-wise field. You have a little elevation, and then it's indoor. Essentially, there's a roof that's retractable, but the field is grass, and I love playing on grass. So I think that's pretty close to ideal for a kicking environment. So that's one of my favorites. And I had a game winner there with the Raiders, not this year but last year. So that's always good.
Oh yeah.
I would say Denver is good. Not only am I from Colorado, but the altitude. It's a pretty cool environment. We played last year, and it was a close shootout game, but really cold. That's not necessarily my favorite, but I think that's always just it's a cool place to be a kicker and play as well. Arrowhead's really cool, playing Kansas City, another rivalry game for the Raiders. It gets extremely loud in there, and it can be pretty crazy weather, but they got some diehard fans, and obviously they got a great team, but that's been a cool experience getting to play in a tough environment like that. And then maybe the last one I would say is the Chargers Stadium. Actually, it's almost like an MLS soccer. It is an MLS soccer stadium where that Galaxy play. It was really interesting. They weren't necessarily a sellout crowd there or anything, just because they've had a tough transition, I guess, from San Diego, getting the fans get there. But it was kind of unique because it's a smaller stadium, and it almost feels like you're playing a soccer match instead of a football match. Just the crowd's a little quieter and just a little different environment. So that was really cool playing there this past year.
You and Harrison Butker are pretty close. What's it like, as friends to meet up as technically rivals, in a stadium, in a game? What's that like? What's the chit-chat like?
It's really cool. It's really cool getting to know some of these guys since high school even, and getting to, follow their careers and, eventually get to meet up and play against each other. You get a chance to chat before the game and after as well, and just, hopefully have some good friendly competition on the field as far as kickers go. And, I'm never cheering against another kicker, and, the worst thing I'm doing is probably hoping it gets blocked or something. If we need that block, but I'm always hoping my friends do well. I just hope we do better and we're able to pull out a victory. But it's really cool to see other kickers' dreams come true, and for us to get to play on this stage, it's a blessing.
Always good for the brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Daniel, dude, it's been awesome talking with you and catching up with you, man. Thank you so much for all the nuggets you gave to all of us and the youth as well.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you guys having me on, and hopefully all the guys listening, all the guys working around the country and the world, they keep working and chase after those dreams. So it's pretty cool once you put in the work and kind of see it come to fruition.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Daniel, good luck with everything, and at some point we'll probably have to check in about the Vegas experience. But enjoy your off season and family, and good luck preparing for next fall.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Have a good one.
All right, take care.
Later, Daniel. Bye. Man, I just loved all the great stuff that he said, man. A lot of good insight, good information.
I agree. Reflecting back from when we talked to him post-combine, pre-draft, you can definitely see an increase in maturity, obviously, experience, confidence, all that type of stuff. And obviously he had a little bump in the road with the Vikings, but you learn from those experiences and how to grow. And I'm sure it's, like he said, it's helped him develop into the type of kicker he is now. So it's real cool to see that transition over those 3 years.
Absolutely.
So, all right, guys, thanks again for listening. And every week you guys have been faithful and listening, and we have some exciting interviews lined up. So we will see you guys next week.
See you guys later.
Later.
Thank you for listening to the Fourth Down Experience. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fourth Down Experience.